Hello YouTube. Thought I'd do a knife video instead of all the snow videos. Still lots of snow. We're probably going to keep it through tonight. Roads are getting in much better shape. By this weekend it's supposed to be 65 and rainy, so that's much more typical for the weather that we have. I want to cover a couple things on this. The first thing is I'd like to show you my meager collection of knives by my buddy Tim Troyer. I just received one quite unexpectedly from Roman Legionnaire. When Tim made this, he posted the making of it. It's got a beautiful two-part sheath with hide in there, and I apologize, Tim, I can't remember what you used on it. I'm sure you can tell me. And the knife itself has this beautifully figured curly oak, I believe they call this, with all these little striations and lines. And I just absolutely love that. Damascus, it looks like, or sandwiched blade. It's sandwiched, 3-layer blade. And copper bolsters. And when I saw it, I wanted it, but it had already gone to Roman Legionnaire. I don't know why you thought I was worthy of getting this, but I can't tell you how much I appreciate it. I really, really do. It's just beautiful, and I was just flabbergasted. I really thank you, because I love Tim's work. As you see, I don't have the support on my wrist anymore, but I still am having some trouble with this hand. I'm not sure. I think I'm going to have to get an injection in here to get it straightened out. I can close it like this, but if I go to work or put any pressure on this, it's just on fire right in this area, so I'm going to have to find out what's going on there. This larger one is zone tempered and a worked hammered copper bolster, and I just love this guy. Love the boy configuration, love the handle. Really pretty. Nice thin grind, well tapered, well centered, well everything. I mean, what are you going to say? Has a sheath that has an invention of Tim's on it, as far as he knows. The lanyard here, or the snap rather, and buckle are threaded behind where the belt loop goes, so they're free to move. So when you take the knife out, you push this back, and I usually don't do it that far, that's exaggerated, and then you can pull the knife out without any worry of cutting that strap, and then you push it around and snap it to secure it, and it works extremely well. Here's one of the first ones I got. This was a long time ago when I first met Tim, and he came to stay with me, and this was a gift that he sent me, and it's a very heavy duty, gorgeous knife, several different kinds of wood, copper bolster, heavy blade, and I think this one, yeah, this is Damascus, and it's too special. I can't tell you how it works. I know it would work fine, but this one's too special. I have maybe 4 or 5 knives I don't use. This is one of them. It's just there to be there. And we have this one, which is one I just recently acquired from him. I saw this and I jumped on this immediately. You can see the making of this little guy. It's got stacked leather up to from here to here, brass or bronze up here, and again the gorgeous curly oak. I've got to get some of this stuff. It just looks like the prettiest wood I've ever seen. It's got these little lines that run all through it, and there's be like 4 or 5 or 6 of them together, and they all run parallel. Boy, this knife just fits my hands like it was made for it. Whoops. And of course, all of these have sheaths made by Tim, and you can see them. I think, yeah, I know you can. Every one of these on his channel, which is Sugar Creek Forge. If you look up Sugar Creek Forge, you'll find him. And then my other really special one. He made one of these, and I told him that I found out that we both are nuts about these things, that we both share a passion for them. And the next thing I know, this showed up in the mail. And it's just about too cool for school. You can see the making. I don't think it's this one. I think it's another one. Maybe one that he kept for himself or sold, but he got this material from a friend or somebody that he knew, bent it, channeled it, distressed it so that, you know, it looks really old, and a beautifully temper-lined blade. You can see the Hamon on it. I don't know if you guys can. Let me make sure I'm telling you right on this. Yeah, it runs up around through here. It's kind of hard to see because this is blued to go with the old-timey look of the rest of it. But it's yeah, it's just something I love. Really enjoy this. This kind of stays by my chair all the time. Opens packages, does things like that. So that's my little Tim mini collection. And the other thing I'd like to hit on quickly is someone asked a kind of interesting question. I've been doing the videos about all the snow, and they said, well, what kind of knives would you carry out in the cold and in the snow? And like all things, you have to look at your situation. It would depend on how far I was going, where I was, what I was doing. Basically around the house, you know, just to walk outside, I'd carry what I always carry, my pocket knives, and I carry a neck knife. You know, more adequate for any tasks that I might run into. If I was going in the woods, going hiking or something like that, down here, with just a little bit of snow, 2, 3, you know, up to maybe 6 inches on the ground, I would probably carry still pocket knife, neck knife, and I might make sure that my pocket knife probably would be one of these two. Even though they're metal handle knives and in the cold, I know that people, and myself included, would rather have wood and things. These knives are well tested. Both the locks on these knives will not fail, especially this one. I know it won't fail. You can see the video of what was done to this very knife on Kylie Harris's channel. He tied it to a broom handle and then proceeded to beat it against the side of a board to try and make the lock fail, and it wouldn't. And I've satisfied myself that the system that he has for this, which is a little bit different than most of the liner locks, and you know, I'll let, if Kylie at some point decides he wants to explain to everybody what that is, I'll let him do that. But it's not going to fail. This one by Mike Gavick, Gavco, same thing. I've tried this knife. I requested, this has a heavier than normal lock. A lot of people wouldn't like it. Well, you can hear it click. I mean, it really slams in there. I requested a heavier lock from him, and that's what I got. And it's just not going to move. So either one of those is going to be in my pocket. They're going to be warm. They're going to go into my hand. They're going to cut whatever they cut. And they're going right back in my pocket. So the fact that they have metal handles doesn't concern me as much. because I would be carrying something like this if I was going to do extended cutting of a small test with wooden handles, something that wouldn't be so cold to use. I would also carry a belt knife, probably for me 4 to 5 inches, maybe a little less. I've got a bunch to choose from. I've had this one for a long time, and this is a Finnish Norwegian, one of them made, handmade. This is, you know, I paid for this knife, I really did, but this is one of those cases where you get what you pay for. It's just an outstanding knife, and I really like this. I've had it, doesn't look like it because I keep it the sheath waxed and really take care of it because it's an investment piece, but it gets used a lot and it really does the job. I have this little rig, and in here I have a sharpening steel by Kylie Harris, CKC Knives. I have a light attached to Fire Steel and Striker, which stay down in that package. And this is one of the KSF sheaths you can buy, and they work great for a multitude of knives. Mike Gavik's neck size knives fit in these just perfect. Right now what I happen to have in it is one of Udo's knives with this very very tacky, sticky handles that he makes, and this is a RWL 34 blade. This is good stuff, and it's perfect for this. Fits in there really tight. It's not coming. The Fire Steel will if I don't put it in correctly. Let me get that in there where it's supposed to be in there, and I'll show you that it will stay too. If I do it right, I think. There. But as you can see, the knife doesn't come out, and I just stick this in my back pocket, and you just forget it's there. That's a great setup. If I was going out extended overnight or in worse conditions, colder temperatures, down here in the south, I would take, at a minimum, something like this. I'd like to say one thing about these. You know, you see the Lapland people using these and they chop with them like this. I've seen people on survival channels say, well, that's worthless. Any knife that you can't hold the whole handle with and chop with is too light. The Lap people have been surviving for a whole lot of years. Not just surviving now, mind you, but they live daily with these tools. They bet their life on them in conditions most people never get into more than a couple days out on a survival training mission. Those people live in it daily. Trust their life to this. I'm going to go with what they do. I think it'll work. That would be the minimum size I would carry. If I didn't mind the weight and I had a big pack anyway, that is the equal, and in fact is a little bit better than this belt axe. This is indestructible. It cuts really well, and it does some things that you know, you can hook with it, you can pull wood apart, you can do some other chores with it. You can dig with this spike. So it's very, very utilitarian, but certainly I would feel very comfortable with this. I've satisfied myself that no matter what I do to it, I'm not going to break it. And it's so thick and so well round that even in the cold, I think it'll hold up as good as any tool. Now, having said that, if I were going to go farther north, the boreal forest, someplace like that, then no question, I want a forest axe or a full-size axe. Probably couple that with a good bow saw. When you get into places like that, you've got to build long fires, you know, if you're just going to be out with minimal camping gear. You need a long log fire. You need a good bit of firewood. You need to get it quick. You need to get it in camp. You need to get that chore over with. And you don't want to be out there with a baton and a 4-inch knife trying to cut some stuff down. You want an axe that's equal to the task, that will get the wood on the ground. I like saws to cut up wood with. There was a lot of that, a good bow saw, because they're fast, they don't waste a lot of wood, and they're also, to me, much less tiring than swinging an axe. So in the northern forest, I just think the axe is king. There's an old saying, give me a knife and I'll survive, give me an axe and I'll thrive. You can build a house with an axe. It's just you have to match the tool to where you're going to be. And so think about the area that you're going to be in, what you're going to be doing. Are you going to be building small campfires? Maybe just a cooking fire? Something like this Mora Triflex. It's, you know, perfectly acceptable. If that's all you're going to be doing with it, you don't need a lot more knife. If you do, step up to this, or this, or this, or a larger version of this. And, you know, a full-size forest axe, not a big cutting, felling axe, but a forest axe, and a good-sized bow saw, properly constructed, and you can pretty much build or do anything you need to do. But the other thing that I'd bring up is on Les Stroud shows, on several of his shows I've seen where he has little segments where he talks to local people that are the experts. In other words, the people that live there every day. It's probably what you want to do. If you go to a place that's strange to you, is find some of the people that go out in the bush there every day, or live there if you happen to be that fortunate, and say, I'm going to such and such a lake, I'm going so and so, I'm going to be there maybe 2 weeks. What in your estimation would be a good thing for me to have? And then you know, as far as tools or food or whatever question you're going to ask them, and then listen to them. Especially if they're older. They didn't get to be old by being stupid. They know what they're doing, and there's a reason they made it that long. And if they live in that area, they know what works in that area. I can remember being in places where what I thought they were carrying looked pretty crappy to me, but when you got it out in the environment that they used it in, and they'd used it there for hundreds if not thousands of years, you understood why it was made like it was made. It made perfect sense. If you go to Southeast Asia, many different kinds of machetes, every kind of pattern you can think of. There's bolos, there's parangs, there's just everything. And all of them, if you go to the area and see what they're cutting in that area, they all make perfect sense for what they're using them on. So think about where you're going, what you're going to be using your tools on. Is it pine, soft poplar, hardwood? You know, what are you going to be cutting in? And make your tool accordingly. And that's kind of what I do. I have a lot to choose from, and I try to match what I'm going to use. Now, one last point, and this knife will be perfect for it. When Tim tempered this, he decided he was going to go for a triple temper line. So there's a temper line up here. There's one, you know, there's a temper zone here, a temper zone here, and then he tried for a third one to bring it around. Well, what happened is right in here, it kind of did a half moon. And Tim tested this knife. He whacked on it pretty good because sometimes that can create a weak spot. And that could pop out if, you know, it wasn't really forged together well. I was kind of tentative about this knife for a long time, but recently it fits my hand too good. I really want to take it out and use it, so I said, if it breaks, it breaks. I'll just regrind it and it'll be a little thinner knife. But it didn't. I whacked on it really good on some really hard stuff, and I pretty much satisfied myself that it's not going to break. But would I ever take this knife out in a survival situation? No, because it could. I'm not so much concerned with the handle here being a partial tang. I know that that's a big bugaboo for a lot of folks, but I think if you use a knife the right way and cut with it, it's not a big deal. Especially on Tim's knife, he carries them way up in the handle. In fact, I've had this one apart. I had to re-glue it. And believe me, that you're going to have a tough time breaking that doing any knife-related chore. But that's the other thing to think about. No matter how much you like a knife, and I love this, I still wouldn't take it out in the woods with me because it's got that little piece in it. If it breaks, I want it to break right here around the house, or maybe when we're down on the farm, or you know, in the middle of summertime when it's not a critical life endangering thing. So check your gear, take care of your gear, take care of your gear, and it'll take care of you. Don't take care of your gear and it'll let you down, and probably at the worst time. So, you know, if I need something that ain't gonna break, there it is. And you can bet that's what I'd have with me if I really need it. Take it easy, YouTube. It's kind of long-winded, but we've been getting away from knife videos here for a while with all the snow, so I thought we'd get into one. And there's some other stuff on the table. We'll cover it too. I've got a lot more videos to do. I'm going to do a quick series on knives of my friends, I guess you'd call it. The first two now I've done. The first one was Kyle Harris, CKC Knives, Sugar Creek Forge, Tim Troyer this time. We'll do Mike Gavick next, and I've got a couple by Udo over in Germany. I've also got some by Andy Haas. I've got a couple of blades from him. He did all the forging on them, and one I figured was long gone, and it wasn't, and I got it, and it's really cool, and I've got something special planned for it. Once I can get where I can work again and knock out I'm going to try to knock out the work I have for a couple of people anyway. I'm going to, as soon as I can get out, I'm going to see about getting an injection in this thing, see what I got to do. It's I'm not sure, I think it's a condition they call trigger finger, and the sheaths around the tendons kind of get inflamed, and the tendon won't slide through them, and it's pretty painful to do. It's either that or arthritis, one or the other. So there you go. That's what happens when you get old. Getting old ain't for sissies. So take it easy, YouTube. We'll talk to you later.